Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Purdy. Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles. Hardcore Course in Miracles. Hardcore Course in Miracles with Earl Purdy.
There's a call for God, I see it everywhere. Everybody's running scared, and everything is turning upside down.
Everything is turning upside down.
But the words I hear, they keep coming through from deep inside of me and you. It's telling us that love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've known together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one.
Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles.
Yeah, yeah, we are one.
This is Earl Purdy, and we're going to get down deep.
Now let's come together and understand that Christ was born inside of every man. He's waiting for us to choose him as ourselves. When you choose him, you know you choose me too. And everyone becomes a part of you. And then you will know that love is who I am.
Love is who I am.
You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one.
You and I are one.
Yeah, yeah, we are one.
We're going to God together. We're going to God
We are
together.
one.
Hey, I'm Earl Purdy. Welcome to Facebook Live, Hardcore Course in Miracles. I'm the Divine Repetition Teacher. I see my purpose as helping people and you and I to do what the Course says we need to do the most, which is remember what it's saying, to hear what it's saying. So in my 40 years of teaching and learning the Course in Miracles, I want to be used by Spirit, especially for Course in Miracles students. And this hardcore class is primarily geared toward Course in Miracles students, and everybody's welcome to watch because
You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one.
yes, we are one.
Oh, we are one.
It's time to join as one.
Yeah, yeah, we are one.
Let's remember we are one.
Oh, we are one.
Let us remember we are one.
I am you, and you are me.
Wow, mighty companions, it's so good to be here with the Hardcore Course in Miracles family from all over the world. we are going to go deep. And if you are a Course in Miracles student, this is really aimed at you. We're going to do Atonement and Miracles. Atonement and Miracles. Page 8 in the Course in Miracles text. Atonement and Miracles, which is the same as saying the undoing of error and miracles, the undoing of fear and miracles, forgiveness and miracles. Those are all terms for atonement. Now, to do this, the Course in Miracles says that we need to remember only this: you need not believe the ideas. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. 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 You might actively resist some of these ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you may find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you may find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you may find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you may find hard to believe. You might find some of these ideas hard to believe. You may find some of the ideas from A Course in Miracles hard to believe. You may find some of the ideas from A Course in Miracles hard to believe. You may find some of the ideas in the Course in Miracles hard to believe. You may find some of the ideas in the Course in Miracles hard to believe. You may find some of the ideas in A Course in Miracles hard to believe. And others may seem to be quite startling. Some of the ideas in A Course in Miracles may startle you. Some of the ideas in A Course in Miracles may startle you. Some of the ideas in A Course in Miracles may startle you. Some of the ideas in A Course in Miracles may startle you. Some of the ideas in A Course in Miracles might startle you. Some of the ideas in A Course in Miracles might startle you. You are not being asked to judge and analyze the ideas. You are not being asked to analyze the ideas. We are not being asked to analyze the Course in Miracles. We are not being asked to analyze A Course in Miracles. We are not being asked to analyze A Course in Miracles. The use of the ideas in A Course in Miracles will give them meaning to you and will show you that they're true. The use of the ideas in A Course in Miracles will show you that the ideas are true. Using the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you. These ideas will start to have meaning to you when you use these ideas. The ideas in the Course in Miracles will mean something to you when you use the ideas. The Course in Miracles ideas will mean something to you when you use the ideas. It's the use of the ideas that give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. It's using the ideas. It's using the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and show you that the ideas are true. It's not analyzing the ideas will not give the ideas meaning to you and show you that they're true. Analyzing the ideas in the Course in Miracles will not give the ideas meaning to you. According to the Course in Miracles, analyzing the ideas will not give the ideas meaning to you and show you that the ideas are true. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that they're true. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and show you that they're true. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that they're true. Using the ideas, using the ideas, using the ideas, using the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that they're true. Using the ideas, using the ideas, using the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Using the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Using the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you and show you that the ideas are true. Using the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. That the ideas are true. Using the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. We're going to be on page 8 in chapter 1, the meaning of miracles. Page 8 in the text of A Course in Miracles, the meaning of miracles. We're going to do section 3, chapter 1, section 3, atonement and miracles. And as we know with the Hardcore Course in Miracles, what we try to do is hear what the Course in Miracles is saying. Our goal is to hear what the Course in Miracles is saying. And I'll go through the paragraph. These 40 years of being obsessed with the Course in Miracles, I want to bring it to our time together. Don't forget, share this video. Take a moment right next to where it says write a comment. It has an icon that says share. Share this video right now on your feed or in a group. Let's spread this message. So share it. Please share this right now. Won't take but a few seconds. I'm going to go through the first paragraph and we're going to see what the message that the Course in Miracles is trying to give us in the first paragraph. Those of you who have been studying the Course in Miracles for a while, you know that the Course in Miracles purports to be Jesus channeling through this woman named Helen Shugman, giving a correction of what he taught. So it's a very powerful teaching that is, according to the Course in Miracles, coming from Jesus to correct our minds and help us forgive, and also to teach correctly what he taught. Jesus is removing the distortions to what he taught in the Course in Miracles. And what did I say earlier? He has some ideas that might startle you. I said the Course has said some things that you might find hard to believe. And one of the things sometimes that people find hard to believe is that the author of the Course, the true author of the Course, through the lady that was the channel, is Jesus. And I call Jesus Jesus of the Course. That is talking. This is what Jesus of A Course in Miracles says. Jesus talking through A Course in Miracles. So let's go into it, y'all. I am in charge of the process of atonement. Now, atonement means the undoing of fear, the correction of error. I'm going to give you a lot of Course in Miracles definitions of these terms, and I'm going to sometimes substitute it so that we can hear what it's saying. So Jesus says, I am in charge of the process of the correction. I'm in charge of the correction. Jesus says, I am in charge of the correction. I am in charge of your healing. I am in charge of your healing. I am in charge of the process. What's the process? The process of atonement, which is the undoing of fear, the correction of error, which I undertook to begin. I undertook this to begin. When you offer a miracle to any of my brothers, when you offer a miracle to any of my brothers, when you offer a miracle to any of my brothers, when you offer a correct perception to any of my equals. See, the Course in Miracles says brothers means equal. Brother means equal. And the Course in Miracles says a miracle is a correct perception. A miracle is a true perception. The Course in Miracles says the miracle is a loving perception. The miracle is a true perception. So this sentence is saying, when you offer a correct perception to any of my brothers, when you offer a loving perception to any of my brothers, when you offer a forgiving perception to any of my equals, what are you doing? You do it for yourself and me. Whenever you offer a correct perception, whenever you offer a miracle, whenever you offer a loving perception to anybody, you are doing it to yourself. Every loving perception that you do, you're doing it to yourself. Every loving perception that you do, you're doing it to yourself. Everything you do to me, you are doing it to yourself. Anything you offer me, you are doing it to yourself. Anything you offer to me, you're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself, and you're doing it to me. Every time you have a loving perception, every time you have a loving perception, you're doing it to me, and you're doing it to Jesus. Every time you have a loving perception, you're doing it to yourself, and you're doing it to me. The reason you come before me, what is the reason why you come before Jesus? What's the reason that you come before Jesus? Is that Jesus says, I do not need miracles for my own atonement. I don't need correct perceptions for my own correction of error. I don't need loving perceptions for my own atonement. I don't need loving perceptions. Jesus of the Course is saying, I don't need loving perception. I don't need miracles for my own healing. Atonement is healing. I don't need miracles. I pretend I'm Jesus. I'm saying to you, pretend I'm Jesus talking to you. And then what is Jesus saying? The reason why you come before me, you're the one that needs healing. I don't. The reason why you come before me is because I don't need miracles for my own atonement. I don't need miracles for my own forgiveness. I don't need miracles for my own healing. You are the one who needs miracles. You're the one who needs correct perceptions for your own atonement, for your own healing. But I stand at the end. I stand at the end. I stand at the end in case you fail temporarily. I stand at the end. You come before me. I stand behind you just in case you fail temporarily. If you fail temporarily, I got your back. Jesus at the Course is saying, if you fail temporarily, I stand at the end. So if you make a mistake, if you fail, if you don't pull off giving loving perceptions, if you don't pull off being loving, if you don't pull off giving love and forgiveness, you come before me. I don't need to be healed, and I'm here in the end just in case you fail temporarily, just in case you fail temporarily. So what is Jesus telling us? What's the message? He says, I'm in charge of the healing. I'm in charge of the atonement. I am in charge of the healing. I am in charge of the atonement. I undertook the atonement. I undertook the atonement, which is the undoing of fear, to begin. When you offer a miracle to anybody else, you're offering it to yourself and me. When you offer a miracle, when you offer healing to anybody else, you're offering it to yourself. When you offer healing and love and truth to anybody else, you're offering it to yourself. All that you give is given 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 to yourself. Let's say it. All that I give is given to myself. 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 All that you give is given to yourself. All that you give is given to yourself. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? That's what it said. When you offer a miracle to any of my equals, you do it to yourself and me. You're doing it to yourself and you're doing it to me. You're doing it to yourself and you're doing it to me. That's what Jesus is saying. Whenever you offer miracles, whenever you offer a correct perception, you're doing it to yourself and you're doing it to me. But I don't need miracles for my own atonement. 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 I don't need miracles for my own healing. I don't need healing. I don't need miracles for my own healing. That is what Jesus is saying right now. Jesus is talking to us directly. And Jesus is saying, there's a reason you come before me. There's a reason you come before me. The reason you come before me is you're the one that needs healing, and I don't need it. I don't need miracles for my own atonement. I don't need miracles for my own atonement. I don't need miracles for my own atonement. I don't have unforgiveness and grievances. I don't need loving perceptions for my own healing. But I stand in the end in case you fail temporarily. Listen carefully. Listen to what Jesus is saying to us. Now, this is Jesus of the Course talking to us. Jesus of the Course is saying, my part in the atonement is the canceling out of all errors that you could not otherwise correct. My part in the correction of error is to cancel out all the mistakes that you can't correct. Jesus says, my part in the healing is to cancel out all your mistakes. My part is to cancel out all of your mistakes. Jesus says his part is to cancel out all of our mistakes. His part is to cancel out all the mistakes that you can't correct. What does that mean? Everything that you can't correct. Any mistake you made that you can't correct, Jesus will correct. Jesus will cancel out every mistake that you can't correct. Jesus will cancel out, heal every mistake that you've made that you can't otherwise correct. Listen, I will cancel out every mistake that you can't otherwise correct. I will cancel out every error that you can't correct. I'm going to correct it. That's what Jesus of the Course is saying. Do you know that when you have been restored to the recognition of your original state, do you know that when you restore the recognition of how you really were created only in love, when you restore your recognition that you were created only as love, when you recognize again that you were created only as love, when you recognize again what you really are, when you recognize your original state, and your original state is a state of innocence. When you recognize your original state, when you finally remember your original state, when you restore it says when you've been restored. It didn't say you were going to restore yourself. It says when you have been restored to the recognition of your original state. So you're being restored. You're being restored to the recognition of your original state. You are being restored. Do you know that you are being restored to the recognition of your original state? And your original state is innocence. I'm the divine repetition teacher of the Course. I'm going to say it over and over again in different ways. It says when you have been restored to the recognition of your original state. And the Course in Miracles says your original state was a state of innocence, was a state of total love. That's your original state. Your original state is a state of love. Your original state is a state of love. And when you have been restored to your original state, when you have been restored to your original state, which means you recognize that you are innocent, when you recognize that you are innocent, when you recognize that you are love, when you recognize that you are only love, when you recognize that you are only love, when you recognize when you have been restored to the recognition of your original state, when you've been restored to the recognition of your original state, you naturally become a part of the atonement yourself. So you naturally become part of the healing yourself. You naturally become part of the undoing of fear yourself. When you again recognize that you are only love, when you recognize that you are only love, then you become a part of the healing. So at the point that you recognize and remember your original state, and your original state is a state of innocence, when you recognize your original state, when you only see yourself as innocent, when you recognize your original state, which means to see yourself only as love and to see yourself only as innocent, then you become part of the correction. You become part of the answer and solution instead of being part of the problem. When you are restored to the recognition that you are only love, when you are restored to the recognition that you are only love, when you remember that you are only love, when you recognize that you are innocent, when you recognize that you are innocent, when you recognize that you are innocent, then you naturally become a part of the atonement yourself. You become a part of the healing yourself when you come back to the recognition that you are only love. You are only love. When you remember that again, then you become a part of the healing. You become a part of the atonement. You become a part of the atonement. You become a part of the healing. You become part of the correction when you are restored to the recognition of your original state. This is what I'm saying, what the Jesus of the Course is saying to us. He's giving us a direct message this evening. The next sentence says, as you share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself and others. As you share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself. When you share my unwillingness, I need you to be just as unwilling as I am to accept error in yourself and others. So you are being asked to have an unwillingness to accept error and ego in others. Have an unwillingness, be unwilling to accept error in yourself. Be unwilling to accept mistakes in yourself. Be unwilling to accept the ego in yourself, and be unwilling to accept the ego in others. Be unwilling to accept the ego in yourself, which is the error. Be willing to also not accept error and ego in everyone else. That is the message. Share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself and others. Share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself. Share my unwillingness. Share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself. Share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself. Share my unwillingness to accept error in you and error in others. So as you share my unwillingness to accept the ego in yourself, as you share my unwillingness to accept the ego in others, then you are learning to undo error and you're acting to correct it. So how do you learn to undo mistakes? How do you learn to undo mistakes? How do you learn to undo mistakes? How do you learn to act to correct it? How do you learn to act to correct mistakes? The Course in Miracles is about to tell you. Jesus of the Course in Miracles says, as you share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself, as you share my unwillingness to accept error in others, as you share that, then you must do what? You must join. You must join. You must join. You must join the great crusade. It's time for you to join the great crusade. It's time for you to join the great crusade. It's time for you to join the great crusade. What is the great crusade? The great crusade to correct error. The great crusade to correct mistakes. The great crusade to correct any mistakes in yourself. And the one mistake is to believe that you are other than as God created you. The only mistake is believing that you are anything other than the way God created you to be. The only mistake is believing that you are different from the way God created you to be. The only mistake is believing that you are something other than love. The One mistake is believing that you are not loving and lovable. The one mistake is you not believing that you are as God created you. And according to A Course in Miracles, God created you loving. God created you love. God created you spirit. And the one mistake is forgetting that God created you and that you are still as God created you. You are still innocent. You are still innocent. You are still loved. You are still loved. You are innocent. You are as God created you. So it says, you must join the great crusade. The great crusade to correct. You got to join the crusade to correct error in yourself. So listen to what else Jesus says. The power to work miracles belongs to you. You have the power to work miracles. 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 You have the power to work true perceptions. You have the power. You have the power. You have the power. You have the power to work miracles. Means you have the power to work correct perceptions. You have the power to work true perceptions. You have the power to work forgiving perceptions. You have the power. You have the power to work miracles. Jesus is telling us, you have the power to work miracles. You have the power to work miracles. The power to work miracles. What is that? That's the power that belongs to you. That's the power that belongs to you. So Jesus tells us, first of all, you got to join the great crusade to correct error, which is believing that you're anything other than love and innocence. Then it says you have to join the great crusade to correct error. Listen to my voice, learn to undo error, and act to correct error. So those are the three things I'm telling you. Jesus says you join the great crusade to correct error. That means you have to listen to my voice, learn to undo mistakes, and act to correct mistakes. Listen to my voice. Listen to my voice. Listen to my voice. Listen to my voice. Learn to undo error. Learn to undo mistakes. Learn to undo mistakes. Listen to my voice. Learn to undo error and act to correct it. Act to correct error. Act to correct error. The power to work miracles belongs to you. The power to work miracles belongs to you. The power to work miracles belongs to you. I will provide the opportunities to do miracles. I will provide the opportunity to do miracles. I will provide the opportunity to do miracles. I will provide the opportunities for you to do loving perceptions. I will provide. I will provide. Jesus says, I will provide. What will Jesus provide? Jesus is going to provide the opportunities. The opportunities to do miracles, to do love. I'm going to provide the opportunities for you to do correct perceptions. I'm going to provide the opportunity. I'm going to give you the power. I'm going to give you the power, and I'm going to provide the opportunities. I'm going to provide the opportunities for you to do miracles. But you must be ready and willing. But you must be what? Ready and willing. Say what? You must be ready and willing. You must be ready and willing. I'm going to provide the opportunities. I'm going to provide the opportunities for you to do miracles, but you must be ready and willing. Do you hear what Jesus is saying? I will provide the opportunities for you to do miracles, but you must be ready and willing. You must be ready and willing. Doing miracles will bring conviction. Doing miracles will bring conviction. Doing correct, loving perceptions will bring conviction. in the ability. You will believe you have the ability when you do it. When you do it, you will believe you have the ability to do it. When you do miracles, when you do correct perceptions, when you do loving perceptions, you will believe you have the ability, you will have the conviction that you have the ability to do it. When you do it, you will have the conviction that you have the ability to do it. So you won't have the conviction that you have the ability to do something until you do it. You won't have the conviction that you have the ability to do correct perceptions and loving perceptions until you do it. You won't believe you have the ability to be loving until you do it. Because conviction comes from accomplishment. So you will have conviction that you can do something when you've accomplished it. Whenever you accomplish something, you are convicted. You won't be convicted. You won't be convicted unless you accomplish it. Conviction comes through accomplishment. Conviction comes through accomplishment. Conviction comes through accomplishment. The ability, when you have the ability is the potential. The ability is the potential. So you have the ability to do correct perceptions. You have the ability to do loving perceptions. You have the ability to be loving. You have the ability to tell the truth. You have the ability, but you will one day understand that the ability is just the potential. The ability means you have the potential and the achievement of it. When you have achieved something, it's the expression of the potential. When you have achieved something, that's the expression of the potential. You've taken the potential and you turned it into an ability because you are now achieving it. When you achieve it, then you are experiencing the expression of the potential. So when you have achieved something, then you are expressing the potential. So the Course in Miracles says, doing miracles, doing right perceptions will bring the conviction and the ability, because conviction comes through accomplishment. It's through accomplishment that you have conviction. But the ability is the potential. The ability is the potential. The ability is the potential. The achievement of the ability is the expression of the potential. So you are not truly expressing your potential until you have achieved your potential. You are not truly expressing your potential to give love until you achieve giving love. And the ability is the potential, the achievement is its expression, and the atonement. What is the atonement? The correction of error. What is the atonement? The undoing of fear, the undoing of separation. The atonement, which is the undoing of fear, the undoing of error, is the natural profession of the children of God. So the Course in Miracles is saying to us that you have a profession, and that as a child of God, you have a profession. All children of God have a profession. All children of God have a profession. All children of God have a profession. And what is your profession? Your profession is the atonement, doing the atonement, being a part of the undoing of fear, being a part of the correction of the error, being a part of the undoing of guilt. The Course in Miracles says the atonement means the undoing of guilt. You are here for the undoing of guilt. You are here for the undoing of guilt. You are here to undo the idea of guilt. You are here to undo the false idea that we are guilty. Your job is to be here to not make people feel guilty. Your job is to be a part of helping people let go of the idea that they are guilty. The atonement is undoing guilt. I'm not here to make anybody feel guilty. I'm here to help people see that they're innocent. I'm here to help people see that they're sinless. I'm here to help people see that they are loved, I'm here to help people see that they are loved. You are here to help people see that they are loved. You are here to help people see that they are loved. You're here for the correction of error. You are here for the undoing of guilt. That is the profession of the children of God. That is the profession of the children of God. That is the profession of a child of God. Your profession is the atonement, which is the natural profession of the children of God. So the Course in Miracles says atonement means the natural profession of the children of God. So you could say that the name of this section is the natural profession of the children of God and miracles. The natural profession of the children of love. Children of God means children of love. Children of God means you are a child of God, means you are a child of love. Saying that you are a child of God is saying you are a child of perfect love. You are perfect love. Who you are is perfect love. You are perfect love. You are a child of God. You are a child of perfect love. You are made out of perfect love. Your profession, the reason why you are here is to be a part of the atonement. What is the atonement? It's not making up for something bad that you did. The Course in Miracles definition of atonement, one of its definitions is the undoing of guilt, the release from guilt, the undoing of fear. So you are atoning by letting go of your guilt. You are atoning by letting go of your guilt. Every time you let go of guilt, you are atoning. The atonement is the release from guilt. It's the release from guilt. So Jesus says, I'm in charge of the process of releasing guilt. I undertook that. I'm in charge of the process of atonement. You are not in charge of the process of atonement. Then Jesus says, when you offer a miracle, when you offer a correct perception to anybody else, then you're offering a correct perception to you, and you're offering a correct perception to me. Now, Jesus then said, the reason I come before you, the reason you come before me is because you're the one who needs atonement. You're the one who needs the release from guilt. You're the one who needs the love. Jesus says, I don't need miracles for my own atonement. I don't need miracles for my own atonement. I don't need miracles for my own release from guilt. I don't need atonement. I don't need miracles. I don't have anything other than love. I'm not anything other than love. So I don't need healing. You need the healing. So you come before me. Now, then Jesus of the Course said, I will stand at the end, just in case you fail to pull this off, just in case you fail to be loving all the time, just in case you fail to give miracles, just in case you fail to do loving perceptions, just in case you fail to do loving perceptions, just in case you fail to do loving perceptions, then I got your back. I'm standing at the end. In case you temporarily fail, I got your back. Then Jesus says, his part in the healing, he said, my part in the healing is to cancel out all the mistakes that you can't cancel out. I'm here to do everything you can't do. I'm here to correct every mistake and every error that you can't correct. I'll correct every mistake that you can't correct. I will correct every mistake that you can't correct. Do you see why I put such an emphasis like I do on hearing what the Course in Miracles is saying? Because it's not about analyzing the Course in Miracles. I say it over and over again. It's about hearing it. Hearing what? Well, hearing that Jesus is in charge of this whole healing process, that he was the one that undertook it. He's the one that's in charge of it. You need to hear that whenever you offer a miracle, whenever you offer a loving perception, whenever you offer the truth to anybody else, you are doing it to yourself and you're doing it to Jesus. The reason you come before Jesus, the reason why you come before Jesus is that he doesn't need miracles for his own atonement. He doesn't need correct perceptions. He's already got correct perceptions. But Jesus says, I will stand at the end. I'll stand in the end. I'll stand behind you. I will stand at the end in case you fail. I got you covered. I got you covered. I got you covered is what Jesus is telling us. In case you fail, in case you fail to be loving, in case you fail to be forgiving, in case you fail, I am here. Then what did Jesus tell us? He says, his part in the atonement, his part in the healing is to cancel out all the mistakes that you can't otherwise correct. When you have been restored to your original state, when you finally are restored to the recognition that you are innocent, when you finally believe that you are totally innocent and totally loved, then you're going to naturally become part of the healing. When you recognize that you are totally loved, you are going to become part of the healing. You're going to become part of the healing when you recognize that you are totally loved. As you share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself and others, you must join the great crusade to correct error. As you share my unwillingness to accept the ego in yourself, as you share my unwillingness to accept the ego in everybody else, then you must join the great crusade. And there's a great crusade. And what is that great crusade? It's a great crusade to correct fear. It's a great crusade to correct guilt, to correct the separation, the misperception that we are separate. Then the Course says, the way that you join the great crusade. How do you join the great crusade? You do it by listening to the voice of Jesus, learn to undo error, and act to correct it. So you have to learn how to listen to the voice of Jesus, which is the voice of love in you, the voice of love, the voice of the truth in you. And the Course in Miracles then says, whether you know it or not, you have the power to work miracles. I have the power to work miracles. I have the power to work miracles. Say that to yourself. I have the power to work miracles. I have the power to work miracles. I have the power to work miracles. What is a miracle? What is a miracle? A miracle is a correct perception. A miracle is a true perception. So I have the power to work true perceptions. I have the power to work true perceptions. I have the power to work correct perceptions. What did Jesus tell us next? Jesus says, I will provide the opportunities to do correct perceptions. I'm going to provide you with opportunities to forgive. I'm going to provide you with opportunities to forgive. I'm going to provide you with opportunities to do correct perceptions. I'm going to provide you with the opportunity to do miracles. I'm going to give you plenty of opportunities to forgive. I'm going to give you plenty of opportunities to see things differently. I'm going to give you plenty of opportunities to see things differently. It's the same as saying, I'm going to give you opportunities to do miracles. So I'm going to give you the opportunity, but you've got to be willing. You got to be ready. You got to be willing. I'm going to give you the opportunities, but you must be. It says you must be ready. It says you must be ready. You must be willing. I'm going to give you the opportunities to heal yourself. I'm going to give you the opportunities to heal. I'm going to give you the opportunities for love, but you have to be ready for it. And you have to be willing. So what is it that you have to be? You have to be ready. You have to be willing. You have to be ready and willing. You have to be ready. You must be ready. You must be ready and you must be willing. You must be ready and you must be willing. Doing them will bring conviction in the ability. So it's doing the miracle that will give you conviction that you have the ability to do it. Doing a correct perception, doing a true perception, using a true perception, using a correct perception. And the Course in Miracles is full of correct perceptions. Using a correct perception, doing a correct perception, which is a miracle, will do what? It will bring conviction in the ability, because conviction comes from accomplishment. You will be You will be convinced you can do something. You'll be convinced that you can do something by doing it. Conviction comes through accomplishment. The ability is the potential. Your ability is your potential. Your ability, you do have the ability to see things correctly. You do have the ability to see things the way the Course in Miracles is teaching you to see things. You have the ability to see things the way love is telling you to see things. That's the miracle. When you achieve that ability, you express it. And the atonement, the undoing of fear, the undoing of guilt, that is the natural profession of the children of God. What is the natural? What is the natural profession of the children of God? The natural profession of the children of God is to be right here, to undo guilt and fear, and to use correct, loving perceptions. You are here to see things differently. You are here to see things differently, to see things from a loving perspective. That's why you are here. That's why you're here. That's why it's so important to say this until we hear it. Because if you just remembered one paragraph of A Course in Miracles and used it, it would transform your life. If you could just remember one paragraph of A Course in Miracles, I mean, not analyze a paragraph of the Course in Miracles, but really remember what it's saying. A leader says, I must be ready and willing to heal. Kim says, Jesus, I'm willing and ready to see things differently. Jim says that Jesus is going to give him plenty of opportunities to see things differently. Kathy says, opportunities are here, but you must be ready, you must be willing. 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 Emily says, the undoing of fear is the natural profession of the children of God. So as a child of God, you have a natural profession. And what is that natural profession? The undoing of fear, the undoing of guilt. That's the atonement. Kathy says, I have the ability to know what love asks of me. I choose to see things differently. Jim says, I am here to see things only from a loving perspective. I know it's hard for people to believe that if they were to see the reason that they are here is to be loved, is to have correct perceptions, is to have loving perceptions, is to have truth perceptions. And that if you were willing to set the goal of having correct perception, which is the undoing of fear, which is a miracle, then the Course says you will be given everything you need to stay. You would be given everything you need if you were to do your natural profession, and you should be a professional, correct perceiver. You should be, I'm a professional, correct perceiver. I am here to see things correctly. I am here to see things with love. I am here to see things with peace. I'm here to see things in an innocent way. I'm here to see things in an innocent, loving way. I am the atonement. I am the correction of the error. The only error is us not loving each other. The only error is us not loving ourselves. The only error is us not loving God. The only mistake is not loving. To not be loving is the only mistake. Demola says, Kim says, undoing guilt and fear and look at things from a loving perception is why I'm here. It's my profession. That is right, Kim. Demola says, I am here to see things from a loving perspective. Bridget says, I am here to see things from a loving perception. Yvette says, I am here to see things with love and peace. Alita says, I am a professional, correct perceiver. That's a PCP. I am a PCP. I am a PCP. I'm here. I am here to see things correctly. Latricia says, I am here to see things correctly, lovingly, and peacefully. I am here to see things correctly and lovingly and peacefully. Julia says, I am a professional correct perceiver. You are a professional correct perceiver. That's the natural perception. That's the natural profession of a child of God. What is Renew? All I've been saying is what atonement is. Atonement is the release from guilt. It is the undoing of fear. The atonement is seeing things correctly. That is the atonement. That's what atonement means. The atonement means I am seeing correctly. I'm seeing you as if you are innocent. I am seeing you as if you are lovable and that you are loving. That is the atonement. That is the healing. If a person wants to atone, they just have to be more loving. If you want to atone, you have to not try to make anybody feel guilty. That is the atonement. That is what this section is saying. And so I got a little special repetition thing I'm going to do at the end. And because if we can remember this message, it will be a tremendous, miraculous breakthrough. Wow. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, as I am a full-time teacher, mighty companions, this is how I serve in the world. This is my profession. And I'd love to allow myself to receive through it. I would love to see this ministry supported so that I can continue to do it. And so we are sustained by the love of God. So if you would like to make a financial expression of appreciation to support this teaching ministry, which I deserve, just go to www.earlpurdy.com, P-U-R-D-Y. Go to earlpurdy.com, and you can also go to Venmo if you want to send a financial expression of appreciation. My email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. It's funny, do you know sometimes my brothers and sisters have an issue with me mentioning that a person could share a financial expression of appreciation to me, you know, even though I'm giving and sharing, and this is what I'm in the world to do, and I'm really giving it away freely because that's what love does. I'm not charging for these sessions. So there's nothing wrong with me asking to receive. You need to ask to receive. We all need to be open to receiving. You deserve to receive. I deserve to receive. I also want to let you know that I am available for one-on-one personal sessions that can change your life. I'm also a professional astrologer and numerologist that I've been doing for over 40 years. I'm available. So if you'd like to have a clarity session with me, go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and it will explain the clarity session in detail, and you can book a session with me right there. I have some good stuff that I can share with you. The Atonement. On Sundays at 1:00 p.m. Mountain Time, I do a Course in Miracles class on Facebook Live on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. On Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I do the Way of Mastery. And on Thursdays, I do Hardcore Course in Miracles. A Hardcore Course in Miracles class is especially geared toward people who are studying A Course in Miracles and really want to study A Course in Miracles. So on Thursdays, I am assuming in the Hardcore class, I'm assuming that you have made the decision that you want to be a student of A Course in Miracles and really learn it. All right. Please share this video. So let me do the repetition one more time. I'm the Divine Repetition Teacher, DRT. Are you ready? Here we go. It's all about the repetition. So here we go. Atonement and miracles. Atonement and miracles. Atonement and miracles. What does that mean? The correction of error and loving perceptions. The correction of error and true perceptions. Atonement, correction of error, miracles, true perceptions. So this section is really called the correction of error and true perceptions. I am in charge of the process of atonement. I am in charge of the process of the undoing of fear, which I, Jesus of the course, undertook to begin. I am in charge of the process of atonement, which I undertook to begin. When you offer a miracle to any of my brothers, when you offer a correct perception to any of your equals, you do it to yourself and me. You do it to yourself and me. The reason you come before me, and the reason you come before me is that I don't need miracles. I don't need miracles for my atonement. Jesus says, I don't need miracles. That's why you come before me. But I stand at the end. Listen to me. I got your back. Jesus says, I have your back. Just in case you fail, temporarily, I am here for you. I have your back. I stand at the end. In case you fail, I stand at the end. In case you fail temporarily, I got you covered, just in case you fail. Then Jesus says, my part in the atonement, my part in the healing, my part in the undoing of fear is the canceling out of all errors that you could not otherwise correct. Listen, I'm going to cancel out every mistake that you can't correct. I'm going to fix everything that you can't fix. I'm going to fix everything you can't fix. I'm going to correct every mistake that you can't correct. Jesus says, I'm going to correct every mistake that you can't correct. I'm going to correct every error that you can't otherwise correct. Do you hear me? Jesus says, I'm going to correct every mistake, every error that you can't otherwise correct. When you are restored to what? The recognition of your original state. When you finally remember who you really are. When you finally remember that you are a child of God. 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 You are God's child. You are God's child. You are God's child. You are love's child. You are love's child. You are God's child. You are love's child. When you recognize that again, then you are naturally a healer. So a natural healer is someone who recognizes that they are only loved. A natural healer is someone who recognizes their original state and remember that they were created in love and that they were created by love. When you remember that you were created by God, when you remember that you were created by God, when you remember that you are only love, when you remember that you are only love, when you remember that you are totally innocent, when you remember that you are totally innocent, then you become a healer. Then you are a healer. It's healing to be around somebody who remembers that they're only loved. It is healing to be around someone who remembers that they are only loved. It's healing to be around a loving person. It's healing to be around someone who recognizes that they were created as love. Remember, as you share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself, be unwilling to accept the ego in yourself. Be unwilling to accept the ego in yourself. Be willing to accept the canceling out of your fear. Be willing to accept the error in yourself being undone. As it says, as you share my unwillingness to accept error in yourself, and others. You must join the great crusade. What are you going to do? You're going to join the great crusade. So are you ready to join the great crusade? Are you ready to be a crusader? Are you willing? Are you ready? Are you willing and ready to be a crusader for truth? Are you willing to be a truth crusader? Are you willing to be a love crusader? Are you ready to be a love crusader? Are you ready to join the great crusade? Are you ready to join the great crusade to correct error? Listen to my voice. Listen to my voice. Learn to undo error. Listen to my voice. Learn to undo error and act to correct error. Jesus says, listen to my voice. Jesus says, listen to my voice. Jesus says, this is the voice for Jesus talking through A Course in Miracles. This is the voice of Jesus correcting the mistakes around his teaching. This is the voice of Jesus correcting the mistakes and distortions of his teaching. This is Jesus telling you to listen to his voice. The Course in Miracles is his voice. Then Jesus says, learn to undo error. Learn to undo error and act to correct it. Act to correct it. Act to correct it. Act to correct it. The power to work miracles belongs to you. You have the power to work miracles. What does that mean? It means you have the power to see things correctly, and that's a miracle. You have the power to see things correctly, and that is a miracle. You have the power to see things with love, and that is a miracle. You have the power to see things correctly, and that is a miracle. A miracle is a correct perception. A miracle is a correct perception. The power to work miracles belongs to you. The power to work miracles belongs to you. And what did Jesus tell us next in A Course in Miracles, which you don't have to believe? I will provide the opportunities to do miracles. Jesus says, I will provide the opportunities to do loving perception. I'm going to provide you with opportunities to do miracles. I'm going to provide you with the opportunities to do correct, loving, healing perceptions. I'm going to provide you with the opportunities to forgive so that you can be forgiven. I'm going to provide the opportunities for healing and happiness. Jesus says, I'm going to provide the opportunities to do miracles, which are loving perceptions. What else did Jesus say? You must be ready and willing. You must be ready and willing. Doing it will bring the conviction that you have the ability. Do it and you will see you have the ability to do it. Do this truth and you will see that you have the ability to do a truth. Do the new perceptions. Do the correct perceptions, the loving perceptions that the Holy Spirit is and the Course is teaching you. Use the interpretations. Use the perceptions that the Course in Miracles is giving you, and you will then achieve the goal. And when you achieve the goal of only using correct perceptions, then that would be the expression of the correct perception. Atonement. 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 Being here to undo error. Being here to undo fear and undo guilt. That is the atonement. Being here to forgive. And forgiving is to release and to see things correctly. That is your natural profession. Your natural profession. Every child of God has a natural profession to heal. Your true profession is to be a healer. A healer is someone who remembers that they are spirit and that they are love. So your profession should be, you are a professional correct perceiver. You are here to practice the truth and to use correct perceptions in the world. And if you use correct perception in the world, then you are a healer and you're practicing the atonement. And a correct perception is you knowing that Jesus has your back. Jesus has your back. Jesus has your back. So I know you may have some resistance. Some of you out there may have a lot of resistance to the word Jesus. But remember, your resistance is not really to Jesus. It's to your interpretation of Jesus. Your resistance is the meaning that you have given to the term Jesus. Resistance to Jesus is really a resistance to what you believe and have been taught about Jesus. And the Course in Miracles came from Jesus, according to A Course in Miracles, which you don't have to believe. But this tonight was a message directly from Jesus. And it is saying to us, you must be ready and willing. So let's say that right now. I am ready and willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready to love. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am willing to love. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am willing to love. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am willing to love. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am willing to love. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. I am willing to love. I am ready. I am willing. I am ready. I am willing. Mighty companions, I love the fact that you have come online and you've met with me live, that you come together so we can join as mighty companions. If you notice, I'm the divine repetition teacher, that my goal was for us to really hear this message. And it's in the hearing of it that you really begin the transformation of your consciousness. I am ready. I am willing. I'm willing to love. I'll see you next time. Please share this video, and remember, repetition, 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 repetition. Listen to it over and over, and don't analyze it. Just try to remember, what did it tell me to do? What did it tell me to remember? What did it tell me to do? What was the message that Jesus gave me tonight? What was the message? What was the message, whether I believe it or not? What was the message, whether I understand it or not? What was I told? What was I told? And listen to it until you could say what this paragraph has said without even looking at it. Then you know you've heard the message. God bless you. See you next time.